Welcome to Rationality, Reason, and Reality. I'm Supernova. Today I'm going to discuss logic in depth a little more, make clear what the minor, middle, and major terms are so you can understand formal fallacies better. I've got here an example of a sort of Venn diagram of how a regular deductive argument looks. Just your typical syllogism is made up of the major, middle, and minor terms. For example, Premise 1. All cats are mammals. Premise 2. Boots is a cat. Conclusion. Therefore, Boots is a mammal. The major term here would be mammals. That's the one that encompasses everything. The middle term would be cats. All cats are mammals. Therefore, all cats are situated within the group of all mammals. And then we've got the minor term, the one example. Boots is a cat. And it sits within mammals because it sits within cats. Now, a couple fallacies that are related to getting these things mixed up would be the illicit minor, in which it's clear what the minor term is, but you haven't established what is the major term and what's the middle term. For instance, premise 1, Boots is a cat. Premise 2, Boots is a mammal. Conclusion, therefore, all mammals are cats. That's not a true conclusion because you've mixed up the middle and major terms because you never established which is which, because you just gave two examples of things that the minor term sits within. And it would also be logically fallacious if you came to the conclusion that all cats are mammals. It happens to be true, but you would have gotten there wrong. It's like if somebody asked you what 2 plus 2 is and you multiplied 2 by 2 and you got 4. You got the answer just by mistake. You got it coincidentally. You have to know how to do it right so that if you don't have that coincidence, that you'll get it right. In illicit major, you have a clear idea of what the major term is, but you don't know what is the middle term and what is the minor term. For example, premise 1, all cats are mammals. Premise 2, dogs are not cats. Conclusion, therefore dogs are not mammals. And we know that's a false conclusion, and it's because we don't know where dogs sits in relation to mammals because we didn't establish its relationship to cats, except that they're exclusive. So those are a couple fallacies you could get by mixing up these terms. The syllogism is the structure of logic. Stick to it. That's how logical argument works. In the inductive form of reasoning, the other form of logic, we're not so sure about the middle term. This is why it can never be valid, why we can never be certain of our conclusion. We can have a probability of certainty. We can say, yes, it's probably true. A common example is that premise 1, the sun rose today. Premise 2, the sun rose yesterday. Premise 3, the sun rose the day before yesterday. Conclusion, therefore, the sun will rise tomorrow. What we've done is we've taken the major term of things that happen every day, and we're putting minor examples of things that happen every day. The sun rising over all these days, and we're inferring that the sun rising is a daily event just because we have all these examples of the sun rising on different days that could lead us to knowing that it happens within the major and therefore probably in the minor. Another common inductive example is that all swans are white, and you have example after example of all these white swans, and so the major term of things that are white could include swans in its entirety, but we know there are such things as black swans. When you discover a black swan, you actually have discovered that this dotted line, this middle term, actually extends outside of things that are white and into things that are black. And for all we know, there are purple and orange and green swans out there. It could extend even into other groups. We just haven't found any examples of them yet. So that's how inductive logic works, and of course it can have many minor terms. It depends on having many minor terms in lieu of its middle terms so that you can kind of figure out where the middle term sits. I hope this was instructive and that you learned something, and feel free to comment below if you have a correction or a question or just want to comment on the video in general. Peace.